All you out there in Righteous Rebel Land. Also, those of you who may be coming live with us from LinkedIn or YouTube, we want to welcome you to an early Saturday morning presentation of our 7-day Love Me Challenge. Today is day 4, and we're excited to bring the topic of grace into the picture. Now, a couple of things before we get going. If you are seeing this and you are not a part, first of all, you're with Jennifer Saunders and Leah Montani. We are the head rebels of the Righteous Rebels. And if you are not a part, the sweatshirt, I love it, of the Righteous Rebels group over on Facebook, we're going to invite you to head on over there. Tap the let me in, it probably says join button, and we'll let you in on our end. We would love to have you contribute to the community, your wisdom, your just amazing sauce. We want you in what we're doing. We're really about eradicating zombies and bringing you and your ideas to life. And this 7-day challenge was one of those things where it's like, you just get this idea of like, oh, we got to just do this thing, like baby step people, ourselves included, into loving ourselves more and helping to eradicate the zombies inside of ourselves. And we just thought we just got to bring it to you as a way to help you do that as well. But also because we want to learn from you and we want to hear about your experiences as you do this. Seriously, that sunshine is so amazing.
When you're saying that about zombies, though, what does being a zombie look like? Like, how do I know if I'm a zombie and I could use loving myself challenge? Right?
Gosh, Leah, put me on the spot. No, that's actually a really beautiful question. And being a zombie is for basically forgetting who you are. And maybe you don't even know that in the first place. It's the wandering around through the melancholiness of everyday living. It's following the same routines every day. It's feeling numb in your emotions and your thoughts, and
like you're dragging and low energy. And
yeah, I was going to say feeling in kind of I'm going to use the word a depressed state, which means just lower energy. It could be depression itself, quite frankly. Right. Not feeling inspired, not feeling joyful, or just
every day is like
blah.
Yeah.
Blah. And you just want to go. We've all been there. And so that's a really beautiful question. And so coming out of zombie and bringing you back to life is this piece of helping you uncover, maybe even for the first time, what your own heart looks like, what it feels like and looks like to come home to you, to the space where you can hear your own voice and you actually recognize it and you start gaining the courage to follow it. Even when it's asking you and inviting you to do things that feel like they're against the grain, against family codes or religious codes or societal codes, but they're still within the realms of lawfulness and safety of other people and safety of self. It's just really learning how to take inspired action inside of your own sovereign beingness.
Yeah.
I'm glad this is recorded because I've never said that before, but that's basically what it is, is taking inspired action, waking up to yourself and using that inside of your sovereign beingness. And so with that, go ahead, Leah.
No, I was just going to say, if we were going to do a recap of the last few days, since we are on day 4, we started day 1 with adventure. What's a way that you could date yourself and take that time, at least 30 minutes, whether it was in one big chunk or 5 minutes here and there throughout the day, taking time to really know what a date with you is, get to know yourself, ask yourself some questions, and do things that you enjoy to do.
And we're all about adventure here, adventure and creativity. There's such a beautiful marriage between those two, and you'll hear us talk about that a lot. Like, life is an adventure, every day is an adventure, and learning to love yourself is an adventure, which is why we started day 1 with with adventure, like Leah just said, learning how to date yourself.
Yes. And then day 2, I just drew a blank.
Confidence and courage.
Yes, confidence and courage dynamic, that you need a little bit of courage to take that first baby step, and that will inspire some confidence, and then confidence will inspire a little bit more courage, and it's a continuous cycle. So in that challenge, we asked you to take one little baby step towards something that you've been wanting to do, whether it's a phone call, writing a letter, an email.
Come on one of our adventures. We have a couple beautiful adventures that feel kind of scary. If you haven't done things like that before, oh my gosh.
But we'll got you.
About that later.
Yes.
We'll talk about that later.
And then day 3 was all about the hand up and really understanding how we're feeling, that exchange of energy and feeling with another and really feeling with ourselves. And we challenged you to think of all the feeling words that you could come up with to describe all the different feels. It's not just angry or sad. It's or
fine,
happy,
good.
Fine, yeah, good. Definitely. It's like, I feel joyful. I'm in awe. I'm so excited. I'm feeling annoyed, like all those different ways that we can talk about our feelings and just have a expanded experience of that. And then today we're doing grace.
Grace. So before we jump into that, one of the things that Leah and I created when we first got together was this. What is this? It's a journal. It's a My Revelations journal where we unpack the mountains because they're meant to be climbed, not carried around. It's an opportunity for you to get inside and be bold and brave and to be a rebel. We've got just lined pages. We've got pages that you can, let me find one, with fun quotes on them like this. They take up the whole page where you can then color them, get creative, get outside of yourself. We've got reminders in here to celebrate because we're all about celebrating. We've got reminders in here to like clean off your dirty glasses, like see with a more clear perspective. What are some of the other quote prompts we have in here? Beauty in the mess.
Yes. What is procrastination teaching you or telling you?
Yep.
We had talked about, what was the other one?
There's one like, how can I use creativity? How can I give back? And those are all like these cute little pictures are throughout the pages, just as a reminder to just like check in with some of those things. So you can order this on Amazon. We'll put the link in the comments. We would love for you to have this in your hand. One, because it's super cute, but two, it's just like it was really fun to put together. It was a really great way for us to practice what we're asking and inviting you to do with ourselves and to put ourselves out there in a way that, felt a little bit scary, but it's a whole lot fun. And we just want you to be a part of it. So click the link.
Yes. Sorry. Go on. Click the link. I just wanted to mention, as we're starting to talk about grace, you and I had a really cool conversation around the difference in energy when we were talking about grace versus patience. Mm-hmm. We chat a little bit about that.
Yeah. Do you want to remind me? Because we had a lot of conversations.
Just how when you ask me when I say the word patience, what does that make you think of? Like, what's the energy around that word patience? And when I thought of patience, I thought of that it's finite. Like there's only so much patience that I have. And once I've reached that limit, I'm going to blow. Like I don't have the grace to allow whatever time there is needed to get to that point. So for me,
patience has like it's kind of underlying kind of boiling, like we're just kind of keeping it on a simmer, but how long can we do that if it's still on the heat? And eventually it's going to boil.
Well, and there's expectation attached to patience because it should be done by a certain time. Whereas with grace, it's allowing things to unfold as they need to unfold. And that's what I never had thought of, the difference between patience and grace until we had that conversation. It makes me look at how I look at my kids. Am I going to have patience for them, or am I going to give them the grace that they need to feel what they need to feel and take the time that they need to time? And it takes me out of my head and puts me more into what's their actual need, and how I move in the world with other people. Like, I think of the person that's really grouchy at the checkout. I could feel impatient that they're projecting on me their, whatever's going on in their life, or I could offer that space of grace and say, hey, looks like you've had a rough day, and offer that to them, to say, I see you, I hear you, do you want to share? It could be just giving them a smile, and it can just totally switch their day and the meaning of that interaction. So that's what I really like about the idea of grace.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for reminding me about the conversation we had in regards to our word energy stuff. You'll if you're new to the Righteous Rebels, we do a lot with word energy. We have a lot of really cute slides to talk about the different kinds of word energy, and that's one of them, patience and grace. So with grace, this is what I love about grace. Is one, like all the things that we talk about, it's got to start inside. We've got to be able to give it to ourselves first in order to share it out with the people around us. If we're feeling judgmental, we're probably judging ourselves somewhere. If we're, thinking someone else is cranky, we're probably cranky somewhere. And this piece on grace is, it's a way to, I just exhaled. It's a way to exhale. It's a way to just pause and take notice of your own humanity and the feelings that you're experiencing and the humanity of the person that you're extending grace to. It's remembering that everybody is doing the absolute best that they know how to do in any given moment. Now, I know that can be challenging to wrap your minds around when you first hear that concept, even with ourselves, because I think, yeah, but I know different. I've learned some different things. Learning different things and actually knowing how to apply them are very different. They're very different things. And it takes time to learn how to apply. And so it's that cutting ourselves some slack, that we're doing the absolute best that we know how to do in any given moment. And when we can give that gift to ourselves, we read something in that we really love to read out of Mark Nepo. And in yesterday's reading, there was a line that there were a lot of lines that I loved and a lot of lines I didn't love so much. But this line near the end, it says, love yourself in the way you love your children and your dog and your dearest friend, without reservation. And that to me is part of the piece of grace, is just giving yourself the space to be in your own humanity, to meet yourself right where you're at and to say, wow, Jen, yeah, you're bumping up against some hard stuff, but you're bumping up against some hard stuff and you're doing the best in this moment that you know how to do with all of the tools that you have. And is there a tool that maybe you're not using? Or could you be using a tool differently or in another way that may facilitate the movement that I'm looking for? And so that's the grace piece, is just this understanding that you're doing the best that you know how to do in any given moment, and extending that same gift to the people that are around you. I'm telling you, when I really started to learn how to practice this gift in my life changed. And I saw the world in such a different way, and it brought more meaning and more connection and more of all the things. It brought up what's the word I'm looking for? It made things more intense, but in the beautiful intenseness, like the color, vibrant. It made the world more vibrant for me, because it took off the film of that this can feel like a crappy place. So Leah, any thoughts on that for you?
I think what comes up for me is, as a mom of kids, sometimes we take on a lot of things, and we have this feeling like we have to do everything, and we're looking after the kids, we're looking after the house, we're looking after jobs, we're looking after activities, we're doing all these things, and we don't. And then if we fall short somewhere, we forget a permission form for school, or we forget to send the kids lunch or something, or we forgot something, and how we beat ourselves up because we quote unquote fell short in that one space, and we forget all the other things that we've been doing, and we start beating ourselves up. And I just invite you to give yourself some grace and appreciate all the things that we're doing. We're so focused on the to-do list that we forget about the ta-da list. Like, look at all the stuff that I did. Look at,
Right.
I accomplished this, this, and this, and I didn't get to that, and that's okay. And allowing that space for that to be okay, and know that you are gonna forget stuff. You're not perfect, and that's a beautiful thing, because it allows space for someone else to maybe pick that up, or for you to see that, hey, maybe I should ask for some help, and maybe I can delegate this to someone else, or maybe that's not something I have to do. So
Right. That piece right there, just when we all know how to do a lot of things, but just because we know how to do them doesn't mean that it's ours to do. So I love that you just brought that up. Thank you. And so with that, how do we add grace, and that sunshine is so amazingly bright, into our challenge today, so that you can love yourself just that little bit more today? And this is what we came up with. It's so awesome. It's making. I'm actually going to encourage and invite you to create a list of your needs. What is it that you need? What is it that you need today? What is it that you need or could use in order to accomplish, take a task to completion? What is it that you need in order to, I just want to say, like, feel love, feel seen, feel heard. And then where are you practicing self-judgment? And what are some things that you can do to practice grace, to just let some of that go, to just tell yourself, I'm in this moment, I'm doing the absolute best that I know how to do, and just cut yourself some slack. More on that, Leah? I just
feel like it's the non-judgment piece, and how often we want to judge ourselves, and that whole idea of not enough, and align with grace. How can it be enough?
And I think too, as you're looking at that piece, and you just triggered this thought, is where really is that judgment coming from? Is it coming from you, or is it coming from, I know it's everywhere and I love it. Is it coming from you, or is it coming from a voice that's inside your head that sounds like you, that you've been taught somewhere of how things should be? I heard a thing yesterday, maybe it was this morning. The practice of should is the practice of making ourselves wrong. And so again, that judgment of how things should be, and just taking note, like, is that my voice? Is that something I taught to myself, or is that something that was taught to me? And is it something I need to hang on to? Am I okay to let this one go? Am I okay to give myself some grace in this place and do it different? So that's what it is today, is practicing grace, trusting.
There you go. Maybe
I go this way.
There. Stop right there.
So funny. I mean, we can't curse the sunshine. We haven't had any for a few days, and it is like total blue sky sunshine, full on light bulb moment, and it's spectacular. But it does make for interesting videos. And I'm just going to give grace for the moment that we're working with what we got. So if you haven't seen the videos, the first 3 videos, You can go and we have those on replay. There's a link that you can click that'll be put in the comments and you can receive those videos. You're welcome to start right here on day 4, or you can go back and start at day 1, whichever suits your fancy. It doesn't matter to us. But we encourage you to go and get those. Go join, if you haven't already, the Righteous Rebels Facebook group. Again, that's where we're putting most of our information. We do have a website that we will be releasing. We keep telling ourselves it's been a couple weeks, but this week we worked on it this morning. That's going to tell you about some of the adventures that we have going on. Our Surviving Leadership 6-day, 5-night river rafting adventure is going to be so epic. Oh my gosh. If you didn't listen to our live and unscripted this past Wednesday with Kate Burke, I'm going to encourage you to go over again to the Righteous Rebels Facebook group. It's pinned to the top. That was an absolutely incredible interview. One of my faves. And near the end of that, we talked a little bit more about the river trip that we're doing together. She's going to be one of our guides. That's in August. We also have one coming up in June called Traveling to Greatness, which is going to be held at the same lodge, just with different activities. And they're going to be spectacular. So that website's coming out. And I'm just going to encourage you to step into adventure, step into some confidence and courage. Give yourself a hand up, invest in yourself, and practice some grace.
Yes.
Practice some grace. You will also see a post in the group where you can share with us your experience of practicing grace today or any day for that matter. We would encourage you and invite you to let us know. I'm a full-on believer that our lived experience has more depth and meaning when we can share it with other people, because it adds value and validation to some of the things that they're experiencing. And
I didn't understand that.
Well, let me say it again. When we share our lived experience with other people, it adds value and deeper meaning for other people. So like, of all the things that could have said right then, that was amazing. It was good enough to say twice. So head on over to the Righteous Rebels. Ask to join if you haven't. Do the challenge. Let us know what it looks like and what you experienced. And we'll see you soon on day 5, which will be tomorrow morning.
Yes.
And until then, know that we love you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you sharing your time with us. And remember, you ready, Leah?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Be bold.
Be brave.
Be brave. Be a rebel.
Rebel.
We'll see you soon.
That was too bad.